Hello my friends all over the world, wherever you are. Today I'm going to make a special juice formula for a cancer survivor that's living at our home. And today, instead of beets and carrots, I'm going to put in wheatgrass and sunflower sprouts. And let's look at the rest of my ingredients. In addition to a quarter of a flat of wheatgrass and 1 container of wheatgrass sprouts, I'm going to put in a half a bunch of kale, a half a head of celery, a half a bunch of collards, a half a bunch of parsley, 1/2 cucumber, a half a bunch of cilantro, and a half bunch of red Swiss chard, plus some turmeric. So let's make some juice. Now, as usual, I'm going to plug in my thermometer, add 3 ice cubes to cool down the cutter and the feed tube, and I'm using the near zero blowback cutter because it does a better job on greens, and this juice is mostly greens. Now I've cut my sunflower sprouts as close to the root as possible, but I'm going to do a quarter flat of wheatgrass first, and I'm going to take a plug of about 3 inches by 3 inches, cut it as close to the root as I can get it, and we'll start with the wheatgrass. I'm going to feed in the tip first. Both hands pushing a slow, steady pace, not too fast. More wheatgrass, as close to the root as I can cut it. And I'm going to be able to get a second growth out of this in about a week or two. Push with both hands, slow and steady. And after I do my wheatgrass, I'm going to clean my grid because wheatgrass is very, very fibrous. I want to clean all of that fiber off the grid, and then we'll continue with the sunflower sprouts. Take half of the sunflower sprouts. Ice cubes. I'm going to take half of my parsley, feed that through. Now, parsley has a lot of fiber. Now I'm already up to 24 degrees centigrade, so I'll put in 3 ice cubes and then clean my grid again. Check your wing nuts because they will loosen from the vibration. And we'll clean the grid as often as we can when you do greens. The more often you clean your grid, the less heat is going to build up, and the easier it is to shred the rest of your produce. The rest of my parsley now. Parsley is very, very fibrous. And remember, when you do greens, clean your grid often, especially after things like celery, beet tops, parsley, anything that has a lot of fiber. Now we'll continue with the collards. ice cubes. Then we'll clean the cutter again. Clean the grit then. Clean the grit again. Whenever you do only greens juice, your cutter and your feed tube is going to heat up a lot. So the more frequently you can clean your grid, the more nutrients you're going to save. And why go through all that work if you're going to destroy your nutrients? So next we'll do the kale. Rotate your bowl, check your wing nuts. A little more kale. And we're up to 21 degrees Celsius again, so 3 more ice cubes. Cucumber. And half a bunch of cilantro. I want to remind you that even though you're doing only greens juice, there's always a plug of produce in here that's not shred. So take some of the green pulp, put it in the feed tube, fill it all the way up to the top, and then force that last bit of produce through. And remember to cover this before you begin. Next we'll clean the grid, the feed tube, and the cutter, and start to make some greens only juice. And the rest of this wheatgrass is for the next batch of juice. Now we're going to make some juice. And one thing I didn't mention in my ingredients list was a couple of limes that I peeled and shred, and that's not only going to make the juice taste better, but will prolong the shelf life of the juice. So my next step will be to mix everything together thoroughly, and then we'll scoop this into the cloths, but we're going to use a bamboo liner because greens will stick to the cloth. And we want to avoid that because it will be a cleanup nightmare if you don't use a bamboo liner. We have these bamboo liners custom made. Now I'm going to put 3, maybe 4 scoops of green pulp. Let's do 4. We'll fold the bamboo liner over in both directions. Fold the cloth over the bamboo liner. And then we're going to pull this forward, set this aside, and press 2 cloths full. Very important to use a bamboo liner if you don't want a cleanup nightmare. Now this is a small batch of green juice, and we're going to make green juice more frequently so that it's fresher. So there we have it. We'll fold that over in thirds. The tighter the package, the better. Turn that over. Put 2 cloths into the press at one time. Now before I turn that on, I'm going to pour this juice in the tray into the collection bowl. We'll turn this all the way back and back it off. We do not want that to go up too fast, but I'm going to double check that it's centered left to right, centered front to back. You notice how I can reach in there and adjust it. All the way back, back it off, turn it on. And then once you've got a good flow and some traction between the clouds, you're sure they're not going to slip, advance it all the way. Prepared 2 more cloths full of pulp, and I'm using my less work method, and that is you unfold your bamboo liner, put 2, maybe 3 ladles full of pulp on top of the old pulp. You do not throw away your pulp. Fold the bamboo liner over, These bamboo liners are very strong. Sometimes they'll burst at the corners, but not very much. Fold it into thirds again. Turn it upside down. Flatten it, set it aside. Continue with another cloth full of pulp. Very important to fill it to the top so you have no air in the bottle whatsoever. Oh, looks like we got a nice batch. Might even get 6 bottles out of this. Not going to put that foam in there. Alright my friends, we got 6 bottles of juice from that batch. And I added 2 limes to help preserve the shelf life, and I have a little tiny bit for a taste test. So I want to remind you also that almost one of these 7 ounces came from pressing the spent pulp with the Whole Health Foundation Premium Model Juicer. And the nutrients in your last 10%, which is in the whole mix, is your most valuable juice that comes from any pressing. So let's do a taste test. Well, before I put these 6 bottles in the refrigerator, I'm going to taste it. Tastes very good. I can taste the lime and the cilantro. Very tasty. Normally I don't like just green juice, but this turned out very, very well. I hope you like the formula. I hope you like what you've seen. And if you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. I'll see you in the next video.